Toronto Unfiltered was live downtown Toronto Saturday, November 29th, covering the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people. Protesters gathered despite a heavy police presence, and they had a lot to say about the Palestinian flag being raised at City Hall for the first time. Here's what we saw and heard on the ground.
This country is dealing with inflation. People can't afford groceries. They can't buy homes. But Mark Carney, the Conservative government, this entire Canadian government is more dead set on funding genocide and killing Palestinians. So this is why we're here. We are going to keep showing up for our people in Palestine and to end Canadian complicity in genocide. We want justice, you say how?
Our struggle for liberation is connected. From Sudan to Venezuela, people are resisting violence, exploitation, and foreign domination. We uplift people fighting for dignity, justice, and self-determination everywhere. Sudan's crisis is not accidental. It's fueled by foreign interventions and militarized politics. Civilians have been fighting for democracy and safety for years, but global powers continue to arm and finance those harming them. Shame! Arms embargo! Arms embargo!
Arms embargo! Arms embargo!
We demand an arms embargo!
We demand an arms embargo!
Arms embargo! Arms embargo!
Arms embargo! Arms embargo!
We demand an arms embargo!
We demand an arms embargo!
Regional powers treat Sudan as a site for proxy battles instead of respecting its people's right to peace and dignity. Shame! We stand with the Sudanese people, the families displaced, the youth resisting, the communities demanding a free Sudan. And in Venezuela, the U.S. sanctions on Venezuela functions as economic warfare. Shame! Sanctions cause food shortage, medical crisis, and economic collapse. We, the people, stand in complete solidarity with every human being resisting the U.S. imperial power.
Safiuddin is a surgeon and has long been doing solidarity work for Palestine and Lebanon. Please make some noise for Dr. Najib.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Today, November 29th, marks 48 years since the United Nations General Assembly in 1977 declared this day of solidarity with the Palestinian people. As it was then, it is even more important now that the solidarity with the Palestinian people against Israeli occupation and settler colonialism remains critical and important. Our humanity demands it. Unbelievable Palestinian resistance and resilience demand it. Resilience against all odds. Today, November 29, 2025, more than 77 years after the Nakba and the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians by the Israeli state, also marks 783 days of Israeli genocide against the Palestinian people in Gaza. Over 70,000 people murdered, 140,000 injured, 10,000 missing under the rubble, 1,640 healthcare workers murdered, 90% of hospitals destroyed or damaged, 90% of schools and universities have been destroyed, hundreds of thousands of children at risk of death from malnutrition and starvation. Almost 11,000 prisoners under unbelievable conditions of torture.
For over a year, the Canadian government has lied. They have stated that they have halted the exports of these weapons. But we know that this is not the truth. We know that they are using loopholes. They are sending these weapons through other countries. They are sending them on passenger planes. Over 500,000 bullets have been sent by Canada to Israel since the start of this genocide. Shame! With all of this still happening, our politicians continue to lie to us. Mark Carney recognizes the Palestinian state, yet he does not halt these weapons. What we want is an arms embargo, a full two-way arms embargo. We demand that the Canadian government stops the sale of weapons to Israel. We demand that the Canadian government stops buying weapons from Israel. This is the only way that we can get justice. This is the only way that the genocide that happened in Gaza can be stopped, that the IDF can stop killing our people. Yet, the Canadian government has not taken this step. It is very easy for them to do. They have done this before with other countries. Yet, the Canadian government refuses, despite the masses on the streets, despite us coming out for over 2 years. Shame! We will not take this as the new normal. We will continue to come out for Palestine. We will continue to protest against our government's complicity, against our institutions funding the extermination and elimination of our people. This fight is not just for Palestine. Palestine is the contradiction that is showing the world the true face of these systems that we operate under. Palestine is the compass that is showing us what is really going on behind the scenes. Every single one of these institutions that has claimed for time immemorial to stand for human rights, to stand for justice, has been shown to be lying straight to our faces. Shame! This is why we must continue to mobilize. We must continue to disrupt. We must continue to hold out until we can get a full two-way arms embargo. Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Arms embargo right now!
Our neighborhoods, the biggest cities in the world, have realized what our struggle is against this U.S. war machine, against Zionism. And we know that Palestine is the compass of this global struggle against these elites selling our people for interest. Shame! We're also here because our people are under attack on every front. After this so-called ceasefire in Gaza and in Lebanon, we see that this is a cover for continued aggression. Even after this agreement, Israel has continued bombing and demolishing over 1,500 homes and buildings in Gaza. And they continue to prove that this so-called peace plan is not one of peace, but continued ethnic cleansing. Shame! We are also here because as we speak, Israel is pushing laws to impose the death penalty on Palestinian prisoners. Shame! Our prisoners are on the front lines of the struggle, and we are here to say that we will not abandon them. We will not forget their struggle. One of our main demands is to see the freedom of all our political prisoners. We're also here because the UN Security Council is signing off on plans that is trying to tighten foreign control of Gaza under US leadership. Shame! We're also here because of this complicit Canadian state. while it performatively recognizes the Palestinian state, it is keeping the flow of weapons and military equipment to the Zionist state. Shame! While they recognize our state, while they raise our flag at City Hall, 20 kilometers from here, arms components are being made and sent to Israeli ports to kill our people. Shame! So we're here to make it clear, and we've been very clear over the last 2 years. We demand a full two-way arms embargo, no more weapons to Israel, and no more complicity in genocide.
To the streets with us. Let us march. Let us keep our energy high. Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
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 Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free. Palestine will be free. Netanyahu, you will see.
Netanyahu, you will see.
All our people will be free.
All our people will be free.
Netanyahu, you will see.
Netanyahu, you will see.
All our people will be free.
All our people will be free.
Every single generation.
Every single generation.
Because while we saw the Palestinian flag rise above Toronto City Hall, and we were right to celebrate that. We are right to celebrate seeing our flag, this revolutionary flag, fly across city halls, across this country. So make some noise for that. But while we are right to celebrate this, while we have the right to celebrate seeing this flag and celebrate the progress of being able to see this flag fly above city halls, this does not mean that our work is done. This does not mean that the genocide in Gaza is over. This does not mean that Canadian complicity has ended. We must keep in mind that our government still sends weapons. Our institutions still invest in Israeli arms manufacturers. Shame. And our universities still host Israeli soldiers to speak at university campuses. Shame! Palestinians are still being killed in Gaza and across the West Bank. Our lands are still being stolen. Our prisoners are still being tortured. And our refugees are still stuck in the camps. Shame! Meanwhile, across occupied Palestine, the Zionist settler colonial project is expanding, and they are emboldened by the steady flow of weapons and political support that Israel receives from our government. Shame! In the West Bank, settlement expansion and terrorist settlers are forcing more and more Palestinians off of their land, and almost all of the refugee camps have been decimated. Shame! The Zionist entity recently voted to legalize the execution of Palestinian prisoners, treating children who throw stones and mothers who mourn their martyred sons as terrorists. Shame! This is yet another attempt to terrorize Palestinians, to break our spirit and force us into submission. Shame! But we know that we learned steadfastness from our people in Gaza. And just like them, we must never give up this fight. We must never give in to the criminalization and the censorship that the state is imposing upon us. We must continue to mobilize because we have the truth on our side. We also should keep in mind that while the Canadian government claims to have halted arms exports to Israel back in January 2024, the PYM alongside our allies and other organizations, have released 2 reports with evidence that the Canadian government still insists on sending weapons to the Zionist entity by using loopholes to send weapons to the US and redirect them from the US to Israel. Shame! They are using this loophole to avoid doing the bare minimum of cutting weapons to a state that is committing genocide. Shame! Instead of funding our schools, instead of building homes, instead of funding our healthcare system, this government is subsidizing weapons for genocide and ethnic cleansing. Shame! We must never let them see a moment of peace as long as we are becoming complicit. By extension, they are using our tax dollars, they're using our tuition money to fund weapons that are killing our people in Palestine. Shame! Right now, just a couple of miles away in Brampton, Rochelle is creating armored vehicles that are used to kidnap Palestinians. Shame! Over in Markham, Nexea is developing weapons and components for fighter jets and sending them to the Zionist entity. Shame! And in Mississauga, just across the street from Ridgeway Plaza, Honeywell is creating weapons and sending them to Israel to genocide our people. Shame! The Zionist entity is only able to continue to wage its genocidal war because of the steady flow of weapons and because of the political cover that our government is giving to the Zionist entity. Shame! This is why we must never relent. This is why we must continue to demand an arms embargo. Because of our pressure, because of the reports that came out using publicly available information and Israeli tax records, we have been able to expose the hypocrisy of this government, which claims to have stopped sending weapons. And we have put Palestine as a central issue. And right now, there is a bill, Bill C-233, or the No More Loopholes Act, which aims to close the US loophole and prevent Canadian weapons from reaching the Zionist entity. So now, more than ever before, is our time to put pressure on our MPs to support this bill, to support an end to Canadian weapons reaching the Zionist entity. This is why we must continue to mobilize. This is why we must come out in every way we can. On December 1st, we are hosting a town hall in which we invite all of you to attend and get involved in the struggle for an arms embargo. You can join our town hall by visiting us on Instagram at PYM Toronto and registering. We invite and urge you all to join us, because while coming out for protest is important, we must be organized and more organized than our enemy, so that we can see our demands implemented, so that we can see an arms embargo, so that we can see the release of our political prisoners, so we can see the return of all Palestinian refugees, and so we can see the liberation of all Palestinian lands from the river to the sea. From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Where do you stand? Are these protesters raising a point the world needs to hear? Or are they crossing a line? Do their actions make sense in the bigger picture? Or are they just adding fuel to an already tense situation? We want to hear your thoughts. Do you think solidarity matters here? Or should the police have shut this protest down? Drop your opinion in the comments. Don't hold back. Let's get real. Let's debate. And let's see what Canadians and the world really think.